Hi guys, welcome to Winsome Cottage Garden. My name is Hannah and I'm so glad that you decided to join me today. We're doing another video that is going to be starting here in the city but ending at the cottage. And this one is a more typical fall activity that I am so excited about. We are going to be planting some bulbs. Now, the bulbs we're planting, I ordered from two different places. One, the ones that we're planting at the cottage, which will be later in this video, and actually might get split into two because there's a lot of them. We ordered from Color Blends earlier this year. By the time I ordered, they were out of one of the bulbs. The only bulb actually I was hoping to add to the city garden, which is a guinea hen flower, which is also known as like a fritillaria. I'll insert a picture here, but they're really pretty, like, they're not tulips, but they look a little like tulips, and they're like curled over with a checkered look for shade gardens. And Color Blends was out, so I ordered some from Brex, which I've ordered bulbs from in the past, and in general have had an okay experience. What I found, and I don't know if this is just Brex, we'll have to see if Color Blends makes a difference, because actually it's the first time I've ordered from them, but I was really pleased with the product I got. With Brex, I've ordered from Brex before, and that's been okay. I've also ordered from other places that were not good. With Brex, what I found is so you plant them in the fall. The following spring, an amazing show. Amazing. But they had a higher dieback rate. So like the following spring, even though they were like, I don't plant tulips. I love tulips. They're actually my favorite spring flower. But I live in an area with a lot of squirrels, a lot of like rodents, not worth it. And deer and rabbits. So even if the bulb doesn't get eaten, the flowers almost always will. So I've got a handful. I've planted some the first year or two I lived here. And then afterwards I stopped because it's kind of like throwing money away. So instead I focused on daffodils, hyacinth, things that have that resistance that animals don't really eat. With Brex, usually those daffodils, those hyacinths, they come back year after year. And they just really didn't. They were taken care of, they were fertilized, they weren't overwatered, they had enough water, and just didn't get the payback. So I'm trying Color Blends this year to see if it's a little bit different. But I did go back to Brex because I don't have any guinea flowers, and something I did want to add. So I've got 100 bulbs that we're going to get planted today. So now these guys are going to get 10 to 12 inches tall, but you plant the bulb 3 to 4 inches deep and about 3 to 4 inches apart. So with 100 of them, they're going primarily in the front yard, though I am going to stick a couple to the bed that we added recently along the shed with a lot of shade stuff. So we'll get some in there, and then the rest I'm going to stick in the front yard because I think that'll just be so pretty. And I'm hoping, I think these guys do naturalize after a little while. I'm hoping they like that area and naturalize. I'm hoping to get this all done at 6:30. I probably have about 45 minutes of light left. So I'm going to see how much I can get done in that time frame and work on through it. So without further ado, let's go get some things planted. I got everything in. It's getting dark rapidly, so I'm hopefully going to show you where everything ended up quickly. I will admit I don't know what you got to see in the front because my camera wasn't recording sometimes, and then I realized I forgot to move it, so we'll see. In this bed, I only ended up adding about 15. I didn't want to get too close to the plants that we already added, so we just kind of popped them in around things throughout this bed, so that'll be really pretty. Shifting into the front yard. So they are starting here. I have a band that kind of snakes in, swoop around here, up in there. There's a small grouping here, a small grouping here, and then I did a larger grouping that goes all the way back there and up here, down, and just kind of this area. I didn't end up putting anything over there. Okay, so we are at the cottage. This is now going to be probably a hodgepodge because I'm guessing we're going to be filming planting bulbs over the series of days. So you're going to see me wearing different things at different times. But we are adding into this bed, the front bed at the cottage, some bluebells and some crocus. So Sean is going to be helping me. So let's quick get you set up. We'll get it planted. Then I'll kind of give you an idea of where everything ended up. Okay, so the bulbs are on the ground. We're rapidly losing daylight, so I have put the lights on. And Molly is mulching this area. So before she covers up where we went, I thought I would kind of show you. As you know, my camera cut out a little bit and you probably weren't able to see a lot, so this will be most helpful. In this new planting area that we did in a recent video, we came in and we did some crocus kind of at the front bit. And then we have a really big swoop of bluebells towards the middle. If we walk just a little bit down over here, we added at the front right here crocus, and then again at the back in that area bluebells. Lastly, we did crocus all in this area. Okay, it is another day for planting bulbs. I'm thinking this is probably going to be one of the last ones you see in this video. We're gonna have to split the fall bulbs into two because there's just so many of them. Last time we planted a good deal of crocus and bluebells. Today we're gonna focus on crocus, bluebells, and snowdrops. We still have a ton of allium to plant and daffodils to plant, which we will be getting in the ground soon. And I'm not even sure we're gonna get all the crocus and snowdrops planted that I have, but we're going to try. We are, however, going to finish the last bluebells. And I should mention, when I'm speaking of bluebells, these bluebells, I actually filmed some stuff about this earlier this year, but I never really finished the video and there wasn't a good place to add it in until now, I guess. These bluebells were actually in a holding area in my house for my dad. These are English bluebells, which my dad loves. But I bought them for his Christmas present a couple years ago, and he didn't have a good place to put them. The bed that we recently planted with hostas and hellebores near that little path between the path and the shed in my house is where these bluebells lived for a large number of years. So this spring, we actually transplanted some bluebells, and what had started as probably about 100 bulbs has multiplied into maybe 1,000, and that's not an exaggeration. So I am going to pop in that up footage of earlier this year, us creating a couple of big drifts with the bluebells while they were still plants. There was one tray we did not get to, and recently my dad went through and grabbed all the bulbs, which is what we planted earlier in this video in the front bed, and we're going to get planting today. So I'm going to pop that in here. I can't wait to see that next year. We are trying to be careful about not planting too much in the grass because it's stuff that we can't mow until they've reached a good point. And that's areas where our dogs go to the bathroom. So you have to be cognizant of that kind of stuff. But today we are going to plant the last of the bluebells. And they're actually going to go mostly in the front arch bed. We've spent a lot of time in this year. It's a deer resistant bed that we do not want, or that we have no intention of fencing. So everything in here is high deer resistance, or medium to high deer resistance, which is good. But there's no spring bulbs in here. It is a very shaded area. The north side of the garage, I'm going to come over here so you can see there's the front door, there's the garage stalls. This is the north side, so it is in mostly shade a good chunk of the time. So we're going to do bluebells here because they are woodland plants. And I don't know how many I have, but I do have a lot. So I'm going to go through with my auger, just create holes, and then put probably 3 to 4 bulbs per hole with a little bit of bulb tone. And hopefully that's the rest of them. We'll see how many are left if it isn't them all, because otherwise we'll probably stick a couple in that bed. The next day, it actually started raining on us yesterday, so I brought you guys in before I finished planting everything, but I thought I would just kind of round out where it was. This has been very hodgepodgey, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is. So in this bed, we finished up all the bluebells we had in here. I did about 160 holes for bluebells. I ended up probably using about 140 of them. And then I did a daffodil bunch over here we will talk about in a second. But the bluebells essentially are going to fill this bed along the edge till about here. And it should kind of come in a line like that. And there's maybe 20 or 30 daffodils in here that we pulled out from various places. Kind of around the roadie, because this thing gets a decent amount of sun. And I thought that would be pretty. Yellow on this corner, because a lot of these are things are herbaceous in here. The ivy obviously will stay, and the 9 bark at the end will stay, but everything else dies back and grows from the ground again. So for a little bit, the bluebells will be the only color in this place, along with the hellebores. The hellebores aren't herbaceous, and there's 5 of them in here. I wanted to get more in this video originally, but I think we're going to shift gears a little bit. So I'm going to end this here. So there's going to be one more video of us planting bulbs here at the cottage, where I'll be able to mostly do bulbs that we bought this year from Color Blends. This video has been a lot of bulbs that we had that were moving. All the bluebells were from my house, as I said, and there's daffodils we moved here and there. I guess there were some crocuses we planted, and the fritillaria that we planted in my yard as well. But this next video will be mostly brand new bulbs that we're adding to the cottage, and I'm so excited. In the fall, I always feel like when it comes time to plant bulbs, I'm tired. I don't really want to, but I've already bought them, because a lot of times I buy them in the spring when I'm super excited about them. So I got to get them in the ground, otherwise I waste all that money. And in the spring, it's always worth it. It's just getting there. That is sometimes the problem. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I can't wait to see these bulbs come up next year and just explore the spring color with you guys, because there's a lot at the cottage to be celebrating. So if you like this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you can see that next year and in the years to come. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.